Okay, last time we were talking about that cylinder of power. Now I'm just going to explain this cylinder using a much narrower cylinder, this piece of doweling, and it's rigid, so it's not going to bend on us. So now when we talk about that cylinder of power and we start thinking about how we want to keep it long and tall, as in humans, we're going to be upright. So we want that cylinder of power to keep us long and tall, and our pelvis to be in its neutral position, so it's pointing straight ahead. Because if it's pointing down to the ground, I'm going to increase this curve in my lower back, and as a result, I'm going to increase my curve at the top to keep things centered inside the bucket, okay? Because I don't want to fall against gravity. So what I want to do is I want to keep this tall and long, and then ultimately I want to be able to bend and move in different positions from this. And ultimately, I'm going to want to be able to rotate. Now, what happens here is we get a teeter-totter effect. So, because we're always playing against gravity, this body has to stay equal and balanced forward and back. So there's my teeter-totter. If I go to bend forward, you see I've put all the weight on this side of the teeter-totter. What I need to do then is I have to have something pulling down so the teeter-totter doesn't fall at the force of gravity. So that's my hamstrings and glutes and my back muscles. So now if I go here, I want to put some weight on the other side of the teeter-totter, which means I have to have mobility in my hips because I have to get my hips moving backwards. I have to get my pelvis turning, but I still want to keep this spine in its cylinder. But let's say my hamstrings are weak, and I've got this big long lever, so now you've got the little kid on one side of the teeter-totter and the big kid on the other side of the teeter-totter. So what does the little kid say? Slide down, so you arch your back. It's not the fault of your back, it's you don't want to fall onto the ground, so your body just adapts. Same as would be is I just curl my trunk because I shorten up this part, the big kid slides down the teeter-totter, so the little kid can hold on. The problem with that is we lose our cylinder of power. And that's the thing that we've got to keep the strongest. So when I go into these positions, keeping that spine and that cylinder in its neutral, long, tall position is the most important thing when you start to go doing lifting exercises. So whether you're generating force by squats or by pushing or by pulling or stepping up, you have to maintain that cylinder of power relative to the weakest link within the system.